Hey friends, my name's Jenny and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, which you are because this is my first video, then welcome. I created this channel so that I could share my experience learning how to groom, as well as help other new groomers figure out what are the best avenues to learn to groom, how to find mentors, am I learning from the right people? Basically, I created this so I could also help new groomers by just sharing my experience, while also maybe giving a few tips. I also created this channel for pet parents. I'm going to be giving tips and tricks to help navigate the grooming world. I want to help create a better relationship between clients and groomers because I think it's a huge problem in the industry. So for my first video, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, give you my story, catch you up to where I am right now through my grooming career. During the shutdown for COVID, I had a lot of extra free time, and of course I spent that on TikTok. I came across Girl with the Dogs on TikTok, saw her videos, and I fell in love. It looked so much fun. So then I also decided to get Kaya groomed, and I saw that groomers working on dogs when I dropped her off. It looked so much fun. The dogs looked calm, peaceful, everyone looked like they were having a good time. So I decided to change career paths. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't really have anywhere to be dedicated to. So I watched a ton of YouTube videos on how to get into grooming. So once I did that, obviously everyone says to start as a receptionist or a bather. So I emailed a bunch of grooming salons in the area. I told them my intentions. I told them I wanted to become a groomer. I'll start wherever you want. And then eventually one grooming salon emailed me back. And so I took the first thing that came to me. I was so excited. On the outside, the salon looked beautiful. It didn't smell gross. Everyone looked nice. So I was super excited. So they started me out as a receptionist so that I could learn different dog breeds. And eventually after 2 weeks, the holidays hit and they needed me in the back. So they taught me how to dry dogs, very rudimentary teaching. They taught me to close the dog's ear canals, don't point the dryers in the face, and always keep the dryer moving on the body because the dryers they had got really hot because there's no ventilation. They also taped 4 dryers together. Not good. So I was doing that. I really liked it, but it was super hot, sweaty, fur flying everywhere. The dogs were on a splintery table. It just was disgusting. Poop everywhere. It was so stressful for the dogs. It was so hot. I just wanted a break. So I begged them. I'm like, please, please let me bathe dogs. Like, this is what I want to do. So they taught me the way that they bathe dogs. Eventually, the more I got into grooming, the more I realized that this salon was not good. It was more along the lines of a chop shop. And if you guys don't know what a chop shop is, it's basically dog comes in, dog comes out. It's all about money. No care for the dogs. The owner was verbally abusive, definitely cried multiple times. So after 2 months, I left. From that salon, I learned a lot about what I hate about grooming. Not what I hate about grooming, what I hate about the grooming industry. And from that salon, I learned a lot of what not to do, which is still learning, just takes a little longer. Oh, thank you. So even though that experience was absolutely awful, I was still determined to learn how to groom. So I didn't want the same thing to happen. I didn't want to join a chop shop again. So what I did this time was I looked for online websites that looked good, as if that would have meant anything. So I made a list. I found one I really liked. I went in there and I applied. I created little business cards that had drawings of my dogs. And I went in there and I handed it to them. They loved it. They called me in for an interview. And during the interview, I found out that the salon was new. It was only a few months old. They had 4 owners. 4. But they said that they would teach me to groom and they would supply all the supplies I needed. So even though I was pretty nervous, I still took it. They started me out as a bather and they handed me Notes of a Grooming Table. I read that book cover to cover. So when I wasn't bathing, I watched the manager groom. The manager had 1 week of training and had only been grooming for like a few months. I watched her groom, and then eventually they let me pre-shave a dog that was matted, and that was very scary, but a lot of fun. And then they started letting me do light grooms, which are just trimming the face, trimming the feet, and trimming the sanitary area, aka the butt and the tummy. After a few more weeks of just doing that, they let me look online for people who are looking for free grooms. You know, the grooms will probably not look that good, but clients will get their dogs groomed for free, which is kind of sketchy. So I groomed a few dogs just by myself, no help from anyone except YouTube, and the dogs looked awful. So, you know, learning by myself, not doing very good. But then this new groomer gets hired, and she is an angel. She has 7 years experience, and when she comes in, she actually let me groom her own dogs. She would kind of hover over me and like guide me, be like, here's how you should do it, this is how I do it. I learned so much the few times that she guided me with her dogs than like I did on my own. But then the manager, who was like a few years older than me, started piling more and more dogs into my schedule to where it was just too much for me. And it really got on my nerves because she sat around drawing wolves all day. Whenever I confronted her about this, she said, I have anger issues. If I get too tired, I'll get angry at the dogs. Wrong profession then. If you can't control your anger towards the dogs, get out of it. Imagine working with children and being like, I can't work that hard because if I get tired, I'll get angry at the kids. Sounds awful. So anyways, after 2 months again, I leave. And this time I posted on a Facebook grooming group. I had more experience. I actually had like dogs that I had groomed, granted. Terrible. So then my current salon hired me on, and they actually paid for me to go to online grooming school. And I am currently a bather, and I also do light grooms for them. And if somebody requests me, I am currently doing half-priced grooms because it's kind of like a 50-50 chance if it's gonna look good or not. Now let me just tell you skill-wise where I am right now. To groom an entire dog, it takes me more than 3 hours. Granted, I'm a perfectionist, and that number can change based on coat condition, size, and temperament of the dog. But another reason why my grooms are so long right now is because I'm kind of in this like experimental phase. Like, I know how to get from ungroomed dog to groomed dog, but there's so many different ways to get to groomed dog, and that's kind of what I'm playing around with. Like, what's my rhythm? Granted, within that amount of time, I also bathe my own dogs, which also adds like an hour. So I'm like actually grooming dogs in like 2 hours. Even though my online school was paid for, I'm still figuring stuff out on my own, which is not something I want to do. I still have trouble figuring out what looks good. I see on Instagram that looks beautiful, but how do I make my dogs look beautiful? Some things I've been doing to try and help me figure out what looks good on a dog is I'll take before and after photos, different angles of the dogs that I'm grooming. After that, I will go online, probably Instagram. I'll just compare what I was trying to achieve in my head to an IRL achievement of what I wanted, and then to my dogs. And a lot of times I'll learn like, I probably could have taken more off right here. So that's helped me a little. But it takes so long to learn that way. So what I'd really like is a mentor, someone that I can work under, someone that can guide me through my grooms, check my work, tell me this looks awful, this looks good, but also someone to guide me career-wise. Like, I'm interested in competition grooming, hand stripping, creative grooming, Asian fusion, breed standards. I'm interested in it all. So that's basically where I am grooming-wise. I feel like I'm in this grooming limbo. Not quite called a groomer, not quite called a bather, but I wouldn't call myself a grooming apprentice because I'm not apprenticing. Let's just call me Bather Plus. Alright, I want to thank you guys so much for watching my very first video. The support I've received means so much to me. If you like the video and want to support me further, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to get notifications for my videos, make sure to hit that bell notification. New videos will be posted every Monday. Alright, and make sure to let me know in the comments what type of videos you'd like to see on this channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I